Melanie Martinez's latest merch drop has got people talking about her kind of for the wrong reasons, because she is charging, I hear, $75 for a small egg-shaped candle. Now, I haven't made a YouTube video about Melanie Martinez in quite a long time, but since I used to be so big in the community, I thought I'd go ahead and share my opinion. If you don't recognize me, maybe this will help. To put this into perspective, back in, I believe, 2020, I actually did a merch haul video where I bought some very reasonably priced Melanie Martinez merchandise, and it was all very high quality, cotton. I was very impressed with it. However, from what I'm hearing, not only have the prices gone up, but the quality has gone down significantly. Now, in some cases I understand it. For example, the K-12 dress being polyester makes sense because that would be very expensive to make, but even then the price, I believe, went up from 100 something to 200 something, and it's just, someone deserves to be shot for that. Naturally, there's been a lot of speculation as to how much control Melanie has over this decision. I mean, for one thing, she did release a song called Numbers, you know, and that was an anti-capitalist song. She herself said that, I believe in her Instagram, that it had a dual meaning as an anti-capitalist song. So why are you raising your prices above what people can pay? You know, this is the queen who said, art don't sell till you've every authority, so there's kind of, you know, it's not really landing, you know what I mean? It is, of course, though, worth mentioning that she is signed to a label, and I'd say her label, her managers, will be doing a lot of the decision making. And she may or may not have much of a say in the prices, depending on what is in her contract. I do appreciate, this is one thing she's definitely doing right, she's coming out with some very original merch. This is some unique stuff. This is stuff that you want to buy. However, you know, whether this is her decision or her team's decision, she's really shooting herself in the foot, because while it's good to have some very pricey merch for your rich fans to buy, and that'll, you know, get you some pocket money to produce your stuff with, you know, that you also need some stuff at a lower price point, I feel, to where the masses of fans can afford it. This isn't so much because I feel like you need to have Melanie Martinez merch. You know, that's not a necessity. You can be a fan without having the merch. And anybody who tells you otherwise is just a nasty person. You do not need the merch. But the thing is, if you have low price merch that everyone can afford, you know, you will get more sales, because more people will come in and, you know, they'll buy. But no one's gonna buy stuff that they literally do not have money for, especially, you know, nowadays people are prioritizing the necessities more and more because there just isn't enough money to go around. And if I'm being completely honest, I think this price increase has much less to do with Melanie needing money and her label knowing they can get more money out of her because she has a larger fan base now. She's way more famous than she used to be when I first got into her music. Way more famous. She has, like, what, twice as many followers now. She's gone platinum, and I know for sure Mexico. I don't feel like looking it all up. I don't remember it all anymore because I'm not as deep in the fandom as I used to be. But I recall she is like globally famous now. Pretty much. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little, but you know what I mean. And I do think an enormous reason for the backlash is that this simply just seems to go against her ideals, much like the NFT thing went against her environmentalism. I discussed that in length on my YouTube channel. Again, though, because I do not know how much control she has over this, I am going to withhold my judgment. You know, that's always an option. You can always just not have an opinion. And in this case, I've decided to not have much of an opinion because, again, merch, not really a need. I would love to have those little candles. They look very adorable. But $75 is out of my price range, and I can live without it very easily. I suppose it is worth mentioning as well that she does have some lower budget merch at Hot Topic, but, you know, anything at Hot Topic, you get it, it'll break in 2 weeks, I promise. I do feel bad though for fans who really want to show their support to Melanie by buying the merch, but they can't. You know, like people who collect merch especially are going to be hurt by this because, you know, before, again, when we got into Melanie Martinez, a lot of us, she was a much smaller artist. You know, she only had like that EP and the debut album. I think the first one was an EP. I don't remember exactly, but you know what I mean. She was a smaller artist. She was more accessible, more affordable. You know, now everything is so much more expensive. Just to make sure I'm not misleading anyone, she does have stuff like in the $30 and under range on her website, I noticed, but I'm kind of iffy about the quality. Again, like, because I purchased a lot of things from her back a couple years ago that had great quality, but I've heard some pretty bad things about the stuff that's there now. Personally, I think it would be cool to see some things that are more affordable to that, like us brokies, like some sticker sets, you know, maybe some posters, like mini posters. I like to collect little postcards and stuff and hang them on my wall, stuff like that. Also, what I said previously in that big video I made about her NFTs, how I thought that she would have made a lot more money out of them if she had sold them as stuffed animals instead, I still stand by that point. I think that would have made a lot more money, and as far as I know, her NFTs did not gain much traction. Luckily for me, though, I've kind of gotten sidetracked by other artists. I wouldn't say I'm not a Melanie Martinez fan anymore. I obviously am. I love her work. However, there's been some other stuff that's come out that resonates more now with the person I am now that I would prefer to listen to. A lot of smaller artists, some of them Melanie's friends, you know, I love Lucy Loon and Alita, and I discovered Palais Royale, really love them, and you know, I adore Vision Video. Basically what I'm saying here is I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm not paying $75 for a little candle. I'm not paying $75 for anything, really. Well, other than groceries, I guess. Can't do much about that. And this has been my first TikTok YouTube 10-minute cross post. I do want to get on YouTube here soon and talk about something with this color scheme. I might also cross post that there. If not, the YouTube is The Crow, formerly known as Piper Sweetie. I'm more active on TikTok though, A Crow with No Name. If you want vlogs about my personal life, you can find those on Patreon. This month, last month, and one before that, they're gonna be the $1 tier, so you only have to pay $1. I just don't feel like charging full price. It's pay what you want right now. It's just pay what you want. If you want access to like the ones before that, like way back, if you want all the lore, that's gonna cost you $11.11. But like from lately and onward, it's just $1. And that's all I got to say. Blessed be Mother Cockers. Oh, wait. My bestie is Gen Z. He says we do it like this now.